Hi, welcome back. This is Preston.
And here's Clifford.
Uh, well, I guess it's just us two this week. Not having a bunch to talk about, but next week's video, I figured I'd get into that. I came across another drum set because Clifford and I worked on someone's guitar.
And got paid very nicely.
Yeah, it was a weird transaction because I would have never made this deal, but he seemed adamant about it instead of just giving us $30.
We got a drum set.
Yeah, got a shell. Well, he called it a shell kit, but it came with the heads I actually wanted to get.
Pretty much just a drum set, just without the snare. Or like any cymbals or anything.
Well, yeah, kick, 2 rack toms, and a floor tom. And it came with the EC2. Yeah, came with the EC2 heads that I wanted to get for the toms anyway. Can you see what's on the kick real quick?
Yeah. Put my mic down, sorry, if there's a noise. Aquarian Super Kick 10.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, an Aquarian Super Kick 10, which is not something I would have gotten. I want to get the EMAD eventually for it, but it doesn't sound that bad. On the demo that's coming out next week, you'll hear it. Our buddy Quentin, who you should recognize from the podcast, he...
if you listen, you probably watch the other videos, because why would you watch our podcast? But
podcasts have a small amount of views, considering the other videos.
I have to look again. I don't pay attention. I just like to joke that the podcast is pointless, but I like doing it because...
I like to talk.
Yeah, well, like you, liking me, talking.
Liking me, liking you.
This is good times.
But yeah, we demo that drum set, and the biggest complaint that I have is my mic placement on the snare for it, and the kick drum tone, which I think is a result of me. What?
No, I was gonna say.
Oh, it's just like a result of me. I think I over tightened the resonator head. I should probably just have it loose, but we'll try it again. This drum set's gonna definitely be in other videos, so you'll see. It'll sound good.
Yeah, our channel's weird.
Yeah, we
just so you know, our channel might get weird.
Oh, it's already gotten kind of weird.
I mean, well, a different kind of weird, because we started out. That's a weird thing to talk about. Is evolution of like a band, or just like even a YouTube channel ends up taking its own like weird like twists and turns.
I was hoping
this started
for
out like. I think we initially planned the channel to be weird, and then it ended up just being gear demos, and then it got back to weird with the gear demos. And then now we're running low on gear to demo.
Yeah,
slowly but surely.
At one point, we actually were just going to do like a comedy sketch channel.
Yeah, and we might have some of that on here at some point. Not comedy sketch, but like, shorts.
I was actually talking to Quentin about it, and he said he wanted to try it out and maybe just have like a whole playlist section that's just like a sketch.
I was gonna say, and like, Cerberus Studio, the whole name thing, it still fits. Like, there's movie studios, there's other things. We are not professionals in any way, but we do.
Well, I figured like the way I looked at it would be like the Cerberus Studio blanket name, and then make playlists like with.
We did mention
demo.
that when we came up with that.
Yeah, so now like I'm thinking making like actual like shows for playlists on it. So there might be like a comedy sketch one, and then we were talking about maybe doing like short films again.
Yeah, so if anything, the reason why we might be resorting to podcasts and stuff is because we're kind of restructuring.
Well, that and
like what exactly we want to do with this.
And I work 6 days a week and have a family.
Yeah, so it gets hard too. So
yeah, I can't just sit down and edit every day. I get yelled at. Mama needs that dick.
I'm sure that's exactly the issue.
It really is.
Oh, okay.
I'm so raw. But it's
that makes one of us.
Yeah, I'm sorry, buddy.
We don't need to get into that on here.
Go away, McAfee. With your fucking prostitutes.
So I like doing the shorts. If you guys couldn't tell when we got to be, we'll call them wizards.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Among us, we have terminology for our characters, but we refer to.
They don't really look like wizards, but at the same time, they kind of.
You know what video we're talking about, though. There was a crystal ball. I acted really weird. I kind of usually do. It wasn't the ball veins one. It was just me with a weird hat and a robe.
I acted a little odd, too. I was German and Irish and Scottish.
And a chicken.
Yeah.
But that's the fun stuff to me.
Yeah.
And we also plan on just working on more actual songs and working on actual music and not... Gear stuff's done to death, although I feel like we'll probably still do more along the lines. Definitely.
Some, but...
It's just going to be a more sporadic thing, also to just kind of I wouldn't say get us out there more and just make it seem like we're trying to get views, but you need that.
Yeah, we do need to do that. So
You need a way to get
like anytime we
exposure.
get new stuff, we'll probably demo it. Like
Because we're still like, we still want stuff.
Well, yeah.
So it's not like we're just like, oh, look at shit to demo. We just, it's going to
still
take
paying
time.
off the other stuff.
Yeah,
But,
it's going to be, it's a year of that. My Yamaha's 8 months.
Yeah.
So-
well, still talking about like, the drum kit though. In the video, I don't own anything but the cymbals I got with the Ganon or Gammon kit, whatever it was, the Amazon set that we first demoed. And those cymbals are such dog shit. But Quentin brought over his ZBTs by Zildjian, and some people I guess don't like them. I actually really like how they sound. At least for me, with what I've dealt with, it's
From
obviously
what I understand, they're just like the
entry.
cheaper,
Yeah.
which like I'm sure any drummers listening to this think we sound like idiots, but like
Yeah. Well, I mean, I understand like other ones sound better, but there's aspects of even like I'm not a big Sabian fan. Like I was telling you about
yeah,
it. Like
we were just talking about it.
I just don't like how high endy they get, and I like the Zildjian sound better personally. So I know it's like a taste thing, but
My
that's
only
just,
cymbal complaint really was I feel like his ride's too loud.
yeah, it is
Even
like
playing it, like when we sat
no,
down
the
and
bell
played
is
it.
very loud.
Well, the
yeah.
bell's loud, but there's also like I feel like I've played. I'm not a drummer by any means, but I've sat down on a few kits and like it's a crash ride.
Yeah,
I think.
Well, you could always crash a ride, but you have to,
I
like,
know,
do it
but
right.
like there's like a term like there'll be like
Yeah.
the crash rides.
I'm not
crash
sure.
Ride.
I think
I
it
was
just says
looking
ride.
it up while we were sitting out there.
Oh.
Did it? Well, I looked at the ZBT set,
Yeah,
and it comes with the 2 crashes, a hi hat, and a crash ride.
okay, so that's probably what it is.
So that's why I was saying that's probably what it is, and it rings out way too much because like you don't hit the bell like Quentin did just fine.
Yeah.
because he's used to them. But like me, how I'd play on like someone else's drum set, I was like moving a little bit too far out, and it was just like.
Oh, I got it, but like I was playing it.
I suck
you know,
though.
yeah. Well, I mean, I have the drum set here. I actually play them on occasion, so I should be a little bit better than you. But
No, I don't consider myself. I would, in a way, love to play drums, but like any time I have an opportunity to try, it's like someone else's set. There's always a few people there,
yeah, so
and
it's
like there'll be like
awkward.
real drummers playing.
And like you'd say, I don't want to embarrass.
I'm not just
myself.
gonna sit here and make loud noises while I try to figure out how to like. I can do stuff with my hands. I can do stuff with my right foot. I try to put them together or add my left foot.
It's hell.
Yeah, it's not a good time.
Yeah. Either way, in the video we're using the ZBT symbols, and I don't know if I'm gonna call it a demo for those, but I guess in a way, like it's gonna be part of like the description, whatever, for the video.
Yeah, I didn't even think of that.
Well, because the whole video is gonna be called like the Frankenstein set, because I was using the Gammon or whatever, the Amazon set
I
snare.
think it's Ganon.
Ganon.
I think
Ganon's from Zelda though, so I'm not sure. I want to say it might be Gammon, but
it might be Gammon. I
either way,
might be
the
wrong.
Amazon set. I was using the snare for that, which I actually do like. But then Quentin brought over his Ludwig, because he has a different snare that he uses now on his Ludwig set, and I really liked how it sounded. But the way I mic'd it, I think I just aimed it too much at where you actually hit the head, and so now it's got more of a pop as opposed to the snare crack that I like. So next video, hopefully that'll be better. But
Yeah, it's really rough trying to record all this stuff and just like
yeah, especially like I work till 8 o'clock, so then Quentin comes over. We set everything up, to set up cymbals, change my kick to his double kick, and
it's like we say if you actually watch the intro video, it's like we're literally just trying this stuff out.
yeah. Well, I mean,
Like we've never mic'd drums before until we started this channel, and
Yeah.
So like the first example of us micing drums is that first
video, yeah, the
Yeah.
cheap drum kit.
cheap drum kit.
But like I said, I that episode actually I didn't realize until we looked back on it. I had actually placed the Samson mic. It was barely even pointing at the snare. It was very much pointing like at the rim, I guess, based on the video. But we must have knocked it and not noticed. But I actually really like how it sounded. So I'm not a fan of that pop. So I guess I just need to stop pointing the microphone at the snare like that. Which, I mean, we also said in the intro video that this is supposed to be us learning together, so I guess it's cool that we're actually talking about how we make mistakes. I feel like a lot of people don't do that.
Yeah.
I'm going to pat myself on the shoulder there. You guys are welcome.
And pat myself on the back for me fucking up.
Yeah, you guys are welcome. Don't
Look
do
at
it.
me. Praise me for me acknowledging.
Either
how
way,
I can make
if you
mistakes.
like the pop of a snare, aim towards where you hit it. If you like the crack of a snare, I mean, I'm not sure this is always the case, but
Yeah, we could be
seems,
completely wrong. We could just be dumb.
I'm just saying based on my personal experience, aim the mic away from where you hit it. But at the same time, apparently Quentin had played the snare upside down and hit the snares way back in the day. So I plan on getting new snares for his snare. I want to get a new head on it eventually too.
That's a weird thing that he did.
He said it sounds really cool. It's just, it's a limited thing.
Yeah. Don't be surprised if we just start venturing off into doing weird, stupid, random shit that we think sounds cool to make weird, cool noises.
I mean, I figured when I buy the snares for it, I might as well do a video where we flip it upside down and do a video
before
like that.
You change them.
Yeah, might as well, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, whatever. I guess you guys can look forward to that.
Make weird sounds. Like I feel like most people don't really try to make weird sounds these days.
No, everyone just knows what works, so they just go with that. Circular Tone talks about this shit all the time. Like nobody really thinks outside the box anymore. You just know what works and what people like, and you just kind of mimic it all the time.
And that's why, like what we were just talking about outside before we started the podcast, the little riff idea I showed you.
Yeah.
We won't get into that too much yet because I guess maybe we'll wait until.
It's probably gonna be a song. I want to make it a song.
We're gonna. That's like I think we said before.
I had another song that I was telling you about earlier today, and ironically, he shows me this thing, and I was just thinking about how it could become a song, and then slowly I realized the lyrics and melody would actually work right over what he was doing. So we kind of just like fused songs at this point.
Yeah, you had like a completely different bass line, all that underneath. But yeah, and not that I did anything crazy, but it was just stupid and weird.
It was crazy in the sense of like I'd never really heard anything quite like it. I've heard things in the same vein, I guess. I don't know. It's like they would either use like
someone could have done it. I'm not aware of it.
They either use like that effect with like a single notated thing,
yeah,
but they didn't use it with like a distortion or they didn't like tap.
Well, yeah, like I said, we just
I'm not gonna get super into it, but I mean,
the video when we finally post it won't be about what I did, but I just
it'll be a song and
like that, and like Quentin doing weird things with the snare.
It.
That weird thing he did with his hi-hat stand, him playing the stand instead of just the hi-hat.
Yeah, well, I mean,
we plan on getting weird.
There's other people that do that.
There's other people that do that, and I want to say everything we need to do has got to be weird and off the wall, but like.
It's good to experiment.
Yeah, have fun. And
back in the day, bands used to put drums in the bathroom and stuff. And
place
the mics in weird spots.
Was it Priest or someone did some weird shit?
I want to say it was Priest that did that.
Because they did in that house.
I know the Beatles, didn't they go to a house too?
That was one of the Beatles' house where they did British
John Lennon's.
Yeah, I think so. It was John Lennon's, but I think Ringo Starr ended up with it because John gave it to. It was some weird story.
I just know that they also used the silverware drawer, the whoosh.
Oh yeah,
and then the door slam. That was one of them too, right?
And then like certain people used to like their drums out in a big roomy area, but then you also have people who try to kill off any. I don't know. I don't think there's a problem with like capturing your environment.
No, I'm not a big fan of mic bleed. I think what I eventually want to do, because we plan on getting a Tascam interface.
Some people do. I got to send you that article still I told you about. There was like those 3 different producers all talking about. 2 of them like mic bleed. The one guy did not. It seems like your applications, I would say, it depends.
Well, what I'm thinking about is when we get the Tascam, it's got 8 mic inputs, which is why we can't fully mic a drum kit right now. We only have 4. I want to mic every tom, the snare, and the kick, and then the 2 overheads. And with the extra mic, I wanted to do a room mic. So with the overheads and the room mic, you'd have a lot of bleed, and I'm sure there's always going to be a bit of bleed with the snare and the kick. And I think that would make it sound really good.
What I think of bleed too is I don't know what in that article I was talking about if they were talking about not just drums. They weren't just talking about drums, but yeah, just like instrument to instrument bleed too. But at the same time, it's like we've never messed with it.
Depends on the application, I guess. I mean, I think it would be cool if maybe you had it to where for the mic on the guitar, let's say, it like if you like cut it off to where it just picked up the guitar and didn't pick up the drums, but you're in the same room, like you put like a box around it, but you could still kind of hear the guitar through the box, and then maybe put like a room mic in the room to where you could hear the guitar and the drums and blend everything that way. I think I would prefer that method as opposed to every microphone having a bit of every instrument.
Yeah, because then it gets EQ muddy. That gets a nightmare. I think that's what the one guy said is with him. Personally, it became an issue. These other people, I think the other guy was the slightly more metal guy. He seemed like he had done other things too, and the other guys didn't really seem to veer into metal territory. But lately, I've also been less into the metal-ish kind of thing, and I just want to do
Well, it's because metal. The problem with metal, as much as I like a lot of metal,
Probably always going to be aspects of it in everything I do.
I think that's why the older I got, the more I actually liked bands like Priest and stuff. Like, whereas when I first got into metal, I wasn't as big of a fan of like the older bands.
Which I can't say that because I'm the opposite.
Yeah.
Those are still the bands I like.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, I mean, even the ones I did like right off the bat, I didn't like as much as I do now, because now I feel like the quality behind it and like the way that they sounded in general, just like as a band, like they would do things to get a sound. Like Judas Priest has so much variety to them. And like, I mean, Iron Maiden never really changed sound wise.
Like in the 80s, they added
they got
synth
weird
points and stuff. But
I
like,
mean, overall, I'd say like the
yeah,
sound
like
is,
people like you could say like the first album definitely is like a bit more raw, but it still very much has like the base of what. Listen to Phantom of the Opera. That's like, it's like a rawer version of like a Hallowed Be Thy Name-esque kind of song. Just know.
But either way,
million changes as long as fuck.
Well, their overall tone, like the guitar tone, the bass, the drums, they all always kind of sounded the same.
Yeah.
Whereas, like,
I would say from Killers and on, especially.
Yeah, but like when you listen to bands like Priest, it's changed so drastically over time.
Oh yeah, so like the '70s albums. Also, like it's probably kind of the same band, but like the production's changed on each album. The '80s, they started to get like British Steel is like that very not dry, but like they got into that full blown like '80s, basically like the '80s hard rock guitar tone. And then like Screaming for Vengeance, though, there's a bunch of like chorus on everything and reverb. Defenders is my favorite because Defenders has.
It gets so crazy.
I love Defenders of the Faith.
I do too.
That's probably my favorite, especially sound wise. Like it's that perfect like '80s metal record.
It's like that like searing
yeah, it's
guitar.
got that searing, but it's got that space to it, and it's got like the it's big, but it's not like overly like crunchy and heavy. It's just like I feel like a lot of people nowadays don't appreciate like the fact that like the people the shit that people listen to nowadays, or at least people who aren't like super into anything older. They like the directness and the very just like overly angry, like people who like Five Finger Death Punch and stuff, or anything like modern or like Slipknot or anything. And then like they hear stuff like Priest and like, what is this? And like, it's supposed to be over the top. It's supposed to be like larger than life. And
they don't like it for what it is.
Yeah, and like I don't listen to Priest and like I take it seriously in the fact that I love it so much. But like,
and it's also
I don't
like
sit there like I'm not
songs.
sitting there singing it like yes, this is like.
Same time, you could take like a band, like I mean, like Slipknot. A lot of people like, and apparently, I mean, I'm not a big Slipknot fan.
I like some songs. Definitely, it was a cool album.
I like some songs, but apparently, like songwriting, I guess, is pretty well done. I guess I could say that too from like what I've heard. But a lot of the more modern metal bands, a lot of it's like the structure's pretty basic. They don't do anything. There's no real dynamic to the song. Where
and sound wise, and just like I feel like
Priest and Queen and shit back in the day.
You're not allowed to be over the top without being looked at as being like cheesy and weird.
Yeah, well, even like Avenged Sevenfold, like their songwriting's fucking awesome.
And I feel like they have a little bit of that over the topness to it.
Clearly,
but they also they have a bit, but they also do. They can attract that kind of more like bro metal mentality kind of people.
Yeah, but like it's weird with them. But like, overall,
you get someone who just hears like
dynamics.
A high shriek, and they're just like, "What is this fucking shit?"
Like the most diverse that you get of a lot of heavy bands is you'll get super heavy guitar,
and they'll have like a clean
guitar.
passage or like an acoustic in the intro.
Yeah, but then you get like you get weird shit out of bands like Avenged Sevenfold, but they're like one of the only bands really that do anything like that.
Oh yeah, well they have a song like Sidewinder that's like a pretty like
flamenco guitar at the end.
Yeah, after it's like a pretty like mid-tempo-ish like metal hard rock kind of song, and then like into like flamenco guitar for like 3 minutes at the end with like
it's awesome.
Yeah,
with Daddy Gates.
Yeah, Papa Gates,
like,
guitar guy.
I don't know, man. I don't understand why more bands aren't doing this, and like that's where I want to start kind of going with anything that we do.
I think the main thing is just like that's the reason I listen to all this stuff that. Not that I think my taste is weird, but just
it's kind of weird.
It is weird
for a modern person.
Honestly, you're probably the only one who like half the shit, and even then, you stole some stuff I play. You're just like.
I don't like hate any of it except for like I'm just not a fan of like what's his name from Chiodos and shit. Like,
yeah, like that. Well, that kind of stuff that I get.
It's but the guitar came on earlier. I was like, oh, that sounds cool, and then you shut it off. But I don't like the vocalist. He totally ruined.
That wasn't even like the original guy. It was the other guy.
I don't. I think he sounds like the same.
Nah, they sound a bit different. But anyway,
no, I mean but the same style.
I just knew it was not what you want to listen to. We're driving in my car, and I was like, it'll be
your
nice.
Car, listen to whatever you listen to.
Usually I do that, but today I was just like, I don't know. Wasn't in the mood.
I don't. But get angry.
I was gonna say I just try to. What was the point of all this?
bands doing different things.
Oh yeah, and I listen to a lot of just like old weird shit. Like I listen to 45 Grave, and there's like random weird sounds, or like Sam Hain. You heard some, and sometimes with Sam Hain especially, it's just like, what the fuck is Glenn like?
Yeah, it's like
He's just adding
drugs.
noise and stuff, and sometimes like the structure, like it's just like I love it, but there's like some stuff on like Unholy Passion. That's just like what, or like I love the first album too. But there's like a song or two where like I can sit there and I'm just like, I know if I played this around anyone, they're just like, why is this playing right now?
I like some Sam Hain, but I feel like the production for me is like so rough.
I could see it. I think the third album, like November Coming Fire, sounds the best out of all of them. It still has.
Imagine.
That's the one with like Halloween 2 and like
And it still sounds
Mother of
super
Mercy.
rough. Yeah, I know them, but it's still like it still sounds rough.
Yeah, but it's like a bit more like the drum sound actually like it came onto my car today. I don't mind.
Well, being as we're already talking about in drum sound, like Circle of Tone talks about this a lot too when it comes to just like the fake ass drums all the time. And we used a lot of drum samples. And once we started to mic drums, I mean, personally, I don't know how it is for other people because I've heard a lot of like sample drums that people make sound really good. I can make sample drums sound okay with EQing and stuff, but for some reason I could just never get it to sound the way I want it to. And I have a much easier time making the drums sound good to where I like it, at least, when I use acoustic drums. It's just, I don't know what it is, like if it's just because it's an actual person and like actual
I think with
air.
that, well, I mean more with like, to be fair, with the sample drums you use are like what comes in Logic.
And Zach used them the one time, they sound fucking awesome.
Yeah, but like then you're also limited to like what kit you use.
Yeah.
And Zach doesn't play the same kind of music, so it could have sounded awesome in the context of like what you were listening
Yeah.
to. But like you can't change what snare you're using or this, so like you're literally stuck with the drum sound. Like that, the drum sets you mic, you tune them to what you like to begin with.
Yeah.
So the drum
true.
sets already sound like what you want, and you're micing it.
Yeah. That's
And
definitely
you get
true.
that, and like if you're the one playing the fucking drums, you obviously get to actually go in and play it.
Yeah, instead of like having to.
And it might be a bit of money, but I think it's definitely. I'd rather listen to someone who like
play the instrument.
like if
It definitely makes a difference. I mean, when I
But yeah, I'd rather listen to like a
Even when
lesser
I-
recording quality as long as it's not. Well, actually, yeah, you know that I'd listen to stuff that's very
even,
low quality at times.
Even when we do guitar through even like when we do guitar through like Bias or something, now that I've started miking amps, I like how that sounds substantially better. Like it sounds like a real take instead of like this weirdly perfected thing. I liked it. I don't know. It sounds different. I mean, I guess especially it just sounds different.
And like
than a lot of people now.
everything's already recorded digital, and like I feel like digital records a lot cleaner, obviously, than tape. And tape has so many different things to it. You can like literally like distort tape by like pushing the signals into it too much, or like not that I know exactly. Don't take the words whether I'm not using the right terms, but there's weird stuff with tape.
Yeah.
And there's like emulations and stuff in like programs and like plugins, but
yeah,
digital. I feel like it's just. I mean, since digital has become the main means of recording, I feel like more and more it's just gotten.
You stop making it as clean as
there's
possible.
no like that's kind of like we were talking about in the car. There's no like, to me, I didn't say this, but like there's no like magic to music. There's no like breathing room to the music. Everything's so. I'm sure there's stuff out there that's recorded by people who care and do that, but yeah, there's no breathing room. There's no.
So it's all snapped to a grid and shit. It's like when I record the guitar riff over.
Well, be it like perfection in like tempo or just perfection and like gotta have these clean direct sounds
too. Yeah, like even like the riff I did over Quentin's drums that you guys will hear next week. It like I don't know. Like one, Quentin plays very on time, like with himself and everything, and it was very easy to write a riff over it and record over it. But then just listening to it like that, it's like, I'm sure it's not like perfectly on time with whatever BPM he was doing because we don't even know. He just kind of played. We didn't do a click track or anything. And Circle of Tone always says, stop with the click track and stuff. And at first I was like, how do you even do that? And then, Connor, when we did his drums, he didn't use a click, and I was able to record over him, and I liked how it sounded. It just kind of has like its own thing.
Yeah, and he wasn't even playing to anything. He just played a beat.
Same thing as Quentin.
You riff over it.
Yeah, they both just literally made a beat, and there was no pre-existing guitar. I just literally like sat down, listened to the drums a few times, and thought of a riff and recorded over it. I mean, and it worked out both times, and I like how it sounds both times. I mean, I don't go balls out completely on the quality because it's just for YouTube, and like we kind of like quick record the drums. Otherwise, I would have spent more time making it was like making sure it was mic'd the way I wanted instead of having the
As
snare
you said,
poppy.
you work 6 days a week, so you don't
Yeah.
get so much time.
Like when we go to
The more we
record a
do this, the
song,
hopefully more we can not.
well, now I know not to aim the snare mic like that. And
Yeah, even if it's a learning experience.
yeah, and then like when we go to like record a song, we're obviously gonna spend probably like a full day doing drums or something.
And
so
with all the thing with the sound and the feel, it's just like I feel like most modern music, like you get judged. I feel like back in the day, like I mean, I'm sure people judged for the mix too, but like now you get people who are like just like bedroom guitar players who record shit sometimes, but like their guitar doesn't sound like everyone else's guitar, and it's like that guitar tone sounds like shit. Or
Yeah.
this and that. And it's like you're not allowed to do anything you want.
no, you have
Like
to be
you have to
exactly
like
what everyone
conform to
wants.
certain, like that's the main thing with metal stuff, and just like
It's almost like that.
I literally
episode of
like
South
fuck
Park.
you. Like I'm fucking tired of everyone.
Yeah.
Like I get like sick of music sometimes when you see so much of that
You go
shit.
into comment threads on Facebook. It's like shut
Dude,
up.
it makes like the like that's why like I end up like I found like these like not that I listen. There's people who listen to way weirder shit than me, but like I've been like compared to what I
Sinister
used to
Gates is a
listen to and the stuff
faggot.
I want to do and the weird.
Sinister Gates isn't even that good. Like,
Not-
okay,
yeah.
can you play what he plays?
No, I won't even get into that. Just them bands like Ghost.
Yeah, Ghost. They get shit on now.
Ghost. We plan on talking about this.
Well, don't they talk about it too? Like he's like like he's trying to get popular when people start shitting on you.
Yeah,
It's like, why do you have to shit on somebody? Like, just
happened
don't listen
today.
to it.
Like Metallica are touring and Ghost is like
Opening
the
with them.
supporting act. And I opened the fucking thread after the first time I saw it pop up, and then you like the first like there's one article that said not article, one comment said something I can't remember, but then the next two were literally both Ghost sucks from two different people.
Are they Metallica fans?
No, it's just like some people just don't because then it's like, well, they're not metal. And it's like, okay, I think
I don't, what would you call them?
yeah, they're
Rock?
pop. Like they're not pop.
That's
They're a
definitely not pop.
poppy-ish kind of metal. Like the first album is metal. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Like if you're gonna still call Priest metal or Iron Maiden metal, then Ghost is fucking metal. Like this first album especially. The second album gets a bit more weird.
I still don't know what else you would call it though. Really, it has to
Yeah.
be like some sort of subgenre of metal. I
And like
feel.
it obviously takes most of its like especially stylistic
I feel like it's
influences.
too heavy
image.
to be rock.
Yeah. And it's just like, but it's not supposed to be taken serious. Now at this point, he doesn't go serious with it, and he adds the pop stuff because they got more popular. And you know what? Him, like me, he's not just like, I just want to listen to metal all day, just from like what
Yeah.
I've read
No,
with
he's like,
interviews.
here's a sax solo.
He's like, I like different music and I like different things. And now, like, you know, like I said, like we'll always probably have like a metal tinge or I watched an interview with the guitar player from Type O, the one I was telling you about.
Mm-hmm.
He said anything he does, it's always going to be like his new band that he's doing and how he felt in Type O is that they felt like they could do anything they wanted. That, you know, they'd still probably always have that metal or dark edge to them or whatever. But like, you know, they felt like they were open to do.
what they wanted.
Yeah. And like, you know, you still probably have your own little confines of us being so rooted in that stuff where we'd stick to that. Like, we're not going to like write.
Sometimes it's hard.
Unless it's like a joke album, we probably would never write a full blown acoustic album unless we like
No.
actually finally had like a band where we're playing simpler songs and had like songs we liked.
Or
that
maybe if
we-
I like played acoustic
like Alex
more.
Story style acoustic shit, like where like we take the songs we had and did like acoustic
Yeah.
versions. But
Because
like,
I don't really play acoustic like that anyway.
yeah, but like we would never. Even then, like it would still be like somber and dark or like
Well, yeah, 'cause
aggressive.
It's
and-
hard for me in general. Like just like I'll go to write something. I'm like I want to make like a punk song, and like the second I start to do something, and this probably comes from a bunch of fucking assholes all the time, like talking shit. I'll start to play something like, oh, that sounds kind of gay, and I'll drop it, and then like
Yeah.
I'll listen to punk songs. I'm like, I was basically playing something just like that, but with my own vibe to it. But I thought it just sounded gay. But I like when this guy does it. But when I do it, I just feel weird because I'm like, oh, it's not heavy enough.
Like I said, both of us, we literally like throughout high school, pretty much until like the last couple of years, it's just what we try to do is play metal. Even when we had the horror punk band, it was like we still like say like the chords we'd choose and everything. We'd still always keep. There was never anything
Darker.
major going on,
No.
and like a lot of punk bands, like you know, fucking Ramones, a bunch of Misfit songs would be in like major keys,
Yeah.
and we're just like, what is happy? Even though like our favorite bands will do it.
Yeah. Well, Danzig, I mean, he straight up writes like love songs,
Yeah,
and I like those songs a lot.
yeah.
But
I feel like I could never do that, but you know what? That's the thing is I feel like the internet. This is going to be actually probably a little bit longer podcast than I thought.
yeah,
But I literally hate the internet. I hate social media. I was having
It's
this
annoying.
thought. I had this thought. What was it? Someone posted a thing. This is not music related, but someone posted a thing like
well, it's either music, people shitting on stuff, or like somebody's talking
it's
about
just
politics.
it's the sad state of like literally going onto this platform and being exposed to so much negativity that before it existed you never would have even known.
Yeah, I think about deleting it a lot, but
Like-
the only reason why I literally haven't is because of like having pages that I have to promote.
Yeah, and like having to do this, like this, this is the only reason. This is exactly what my thought process was like
Yeah.
last night, and like someone posted something, and it was like they reposted a picture. It's something like, why are people mean to someone who posted like 3 days sober and blah blah blah. And that's a whole other topic to get into. But like my thing was like, what? Like one, like yeah, you shouldn't post that and then just have people shitting on you saying like that's not an accomplishment because that was what the argument was.
Yeah.
Blah blah blah. But I'm like, why is there any sort of fucking medium where you feel like you feel the need to post that? Like I would never post anything like that.
No.
And there's people who like are so connected to it that they literally do post
Well,
all
like
the
what
stuff they
eat.
do and like
Yeah.
all this, and then they also will get so upset over like the arguments they'll get into and like
I'll post like pictures
and it's
of
just like
food and shit sometimes.
like even
but
like you could like you're sober for whatever amount of time and like normally 10 years ago like you would have no idea what like whatever
Johnny
mother
was doing down the
yeah
road.
what he thought about it. Now he could just literally shit on you like in a comment thread.
yeah, and there's
And
no
then the same thing with
repercussion.
music is like you post something and like no one's ever, obviously people shit on bands for the
When it
longest
comes
time.
to all these things, like I mean, if I saw someone say like they were 3 days sober, especially like half the people I know that would
Just
actually
ignore
post
it.
that, yeah, like half the people I know that would post that are probably gonna like relapse in a day anyway.
Yeah.
because I've seen it happen.
But, yeah, but
I just
I don't wanna
fucking
get-
scroll
yeah.
past it. I'm just like,
Yeah.
oh,
You got
and
people
then
who
you know
just-
what I do? I unfollow them because I don't want to see what they have to say.
Yeah.
I don't unfollow them because I want to be a dick. But then there's that too. I'm like, I just want you out of my life. But then I feel like an asshole.
But at the
'cause
same
then-
time, like you have no problem with just like, oh, I don't like this. I just don't need to see it. And
Yeah.
there's people who
'Cause
are
I'm
like
not a fucking
that person's
psycho.
just like I if you've done this and you're listening to us, not judging you. I would.
am.
That's the kind of thing I would keep to myself, and that'd be the thing that only
Yeah,
people
stop being a
close to me would
fucking
know.
asshole.
Not everyone needs to know everything.
I do sometimes. I will.
But
go,
even
like,
then, the point was like everyone gets an opinion, and you let these opinions affect you. And like I said, the fucking last Star Wars movie came out, The Last Jedi,
Yeah.
not Han Solo. When The Last Jedi came out, like we walked out, I enjoyed it. I wasn't like thrilled, but I was like, there's things I liked a lot. It was
Yeah.
cool. And then I like
it's not my movie.
I
They're gonna do
immediately
what
got
they
burnt
want.
out on Star Wars within like the next 2 weeks, just from like
People
every
shitting on it.
article was about people shitting on it, and then you read the comment threads, and I did it to myself by going and seeking it out.
And it's a super high selling Blu-ray.
Yeah, I know. But like the negativity finds its way so much, and like that's why like even in music and stuff, like
Because
you
those
get
are
so
always
much.
the most popular comments. Nobody is gonna like your comment when you're like, "That was a great movie." They're gonna like the
Yeah.
comment when you're like, "Oh, this fucking piece of shit," and everyone starts arguing on it, so it boosts up to the top
Yeah.
comments. So literally, all the top comments are always fighting.
And even before like
Always.
Facebook, like this is the metal thing with the way things are supposed to be has just been instilled. Like there's so much like separation in the community, and so much just like
Yeah, and you're all supposed to be working together.
yeah,
Even
it's like
when
you're
we
all
played
supposed to be
live-
like
Even when we played live and stuff, I always felt. I mean, I've literally had it like when I was in Those Who Dwell Within. I've like ran into other people who were like dicks to me. Like they weren't like calling me names or anything, but like they clearly like, just didn't want to talk to me and shit. And you could tell it was this weird competition based thing. Like they wanted to be better than us. And then there's that band-
competition's one thing, but yeah, but you can tell it's
they
also like
wouldn't-
a
it's like they wouldn't even talk to me. Like even if like there was something like I want to do better than that band, I'm never gonna like shit on them. I'm gonna try to like I'll play shows with you.
You want,
should
like,
boost
yeah.
each other. That's like literally how you come up better because you want fans. So if they have fans, instead of shitting on them, go play a show with them and gain some of those fans.
like why are any fans going to want to come to shows where every band hates each other? No one wants to play
Yeah.
the same kind of thing. No, everyone plays the same kind of thing
Yeah,
because
that's
then
the other problem around here. At
that's
least.
yeah, like
I'm not
like
sure about everywhere else, but this
yeah,
area's
I don't
fucking-
know. Like we speak a lot from just what we're stuck with. Like basically, like the slight music scene we had was just like one place in Middletown where a bunch of deathcore bands played.
Well, even if you went to,
Sometimes
like,
you
a
have like
Chance
regular,
at the
you
time,
have a
it was, like-
difference, but like you could always tell. It's just like, fuck deathcore kids. I'm sorry, you probably don't watch our shit anyway.
And if you do, fuck you.
But like I'm sure I know I've
Go
met some of
punch
you
dance
who
yourself
are
to
cool, but you get a lot like you play a show and like you're playing like something that's like a slightly more like older kind of style of metal, and they look at you like, look at Grandpa on the stage. It's like no, I just don't literally want to sound like they literally try to sound exactly like each
Suicide
other
Silence
and the
shit.
same bands, and like I have done the same things. Like I play in a band like with RJ and Ricardo and them, and I don't think it's anything wholly original, but there's like different weird things in there, and like I'm not
Yeah.
worried that I don't sound relevant. Jordan, that one dude I think we brought up,
Yeah.
his thing when I was like, this isn't even relevant. I'm like, what is relevant? Like I know what relevant is, obviously.
Yeah.
Being relevant is important, but like when it comes to like doing what you want to do and what you like I'm not gonna make a certain type of band because it's the relevant band to make.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make it like that's why even
Make
try.
what you want to do.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're not going to actually make music that anyone else
And the
wants
people
to
who
hear.
genuinely want to do that and want to sound exactly like every other single band, you just probably shouldn't be making music, but it's just easier to do it nowadays.
And half them just disappear in the background.
It's happened
anyway.
for years, though. Like back in the 80s, you had the hair bands, and then all of a sudden they're getting pushed out, and every little hair band's getting
These
fucking
hair
record
bands
deals.
nobody was proud to be in.
I think some of them got enough pussy to where they were like, this is fucking fine.
Yeah,
Motley Crue, like, I think...
Deathcore guys aren't. They're like,
No.
I'm punching my dick like while I'm dancing.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, you're not getting anything out of this.
But it's relevant.
I just need the respect of a bunch of sweaty dudes who watch me and judge what gear I'm using live and how I recorded my album.
You're not using an orange cab.
He's got a fucking... What brand is that? This can't sound good. I automatically judge tone based off my eyes. I just like... Tone starts in the eyes, my friend.
That's why the one dude, I was actually shocked. I was at Sounds of Sound playing, and he was like, what amp is that? Oh my God, is that Triple X? I was like, yeah. He's like, I had one of those. I fucking hated it. That sounds sick. I'm like, yeah, it takes a lot of tweaking because like the active EQ, but like when you get it, it's good. He's like, yeah, man, that sounds fucking sick. I was like, yeah. That was like the one dude who like didn't like judge it.
Yeah.
Although I did actually see the old drummer that I had in Those Who Dwell Within, Ryan Hilario. He's been posting pictures.
Yeah.
He's sponsored by like a stick company now, I think.
I saw it today.
I'm not sure if he's sponsored
Sorry,
by...
I'm sick, by the way. I don't know if I mentioned this.
I'm not sure you did. I'm not sure if he's sponsored by a cymbal company. I want to say he had Sabian, though. I can't remember. I think he had Sabian. But either way... Or no, maybe it was Meinl?
Yeah,
It was
I
Meinl.
just saw him post a picture yesterday. It's
Meinl.
Meinl.
Yeah, whatever it is. I'm not sure if he's sponsored by him, though, but he had that, a Pearl kit, all this shit. In the background of the one picture, there was a Triple X, and I was like...
Who's that?
Yeah,
Who that?
I might comment on it. I haven't yet, but maybe I will. Be like, yeah,
Got
what's
my
up with
broken
that?
ass one sitting in someone's garage
It's
right
not
now.
a negative comment, though, so I don't know if I should make it.
Yeah, no one will care.
Yeah. I won't get like a like. They're like,
You
oh
won't
yeah, shit on that
inflate your
fucking-"
internet dick.
Oh, I was gonna say this earlier. What I have been very guilty of, and I've been, for a while now, I haven't really been doing it. I've been trying to stay away from internet fights for a long time now, because I do
Yeah, they're
just
stupid.
overall. Sometimes I feel great because I think I told you before is like I got addicted to it because like I'd get into like arguments over like ideology shit, and I'd actually sway the person, because when I try to argue, I try not to be a dick about it. I'll point out why I think something and why that person's wrong, but I try to do it in a not attacking kind of way. And
Yeah, because then you instantly, they don't care what you say.
Yeah.
They just want to
well, they instantly get angry anyway, but I slowly sway them. So I got a little addicted to it, but now the only time I comment on it is I'll go down like a comment thread, and I almost always regret doing it, but I'll go down and I'll read it, and there's always somebody who says something so fucking crazy, and maybe they're a troll. I don't know. But a lot of the times I make sure I look, and they've actually been arguing back, so it's like, you're not a troll. You're literally like...
It's dumb.
Yeah. And I'll have to be like, listen, dude, if you could just like slit your fucking wrists and not be in this world anymore, that'd be great.
Pretty sure you didn't actually say that.
No, I never say anything that can get me in trouble with the law, but
But when they see me in the room later that night,
I've said some mean things though. I try not to get too dickish though, because I am behind a cell phone or whatever, and I don't want to be that guy. But I just try to point out like how stupid the motherfucker is, because I can't, dude. I work in fucking retail. I see people all day. I know how dumb motherfuckers can be. I don't want to go home and see it on my fucking phone.
But that's the sad thing. It's just being more connected to everyone just gives more problems and anxiety.
Yeah. I know a few people, like Stefan that I trained with. He got rid of Facebook, and only like he still has a Facebook, but he got rid of like the app and stuff. So now when he goes to go on it, he has to go through like Safari or whatever on his phone. And he's like, it's a lot harder, so like you don't really care to go on it as much because it's a pain in the ass.
I gotta do it because I spend so much time just like that's.
I just scroll down it forever.
Yeah, you're just like literally like you go out. You're at work. You go out on a break. The first thing you do when you open your phone, like
I just go to Facebook.
you hit
check
Facebook and start scrolling.
A lot of times I click on it because I see like I have notifications.
I don't get many of those.
Well, I always
so I do it out of boredom.
I'll come out and have like 10, 15, and like I'll start scrolling down like my news feed, and then have like I don't know, like maybe 5 minutes goes by. I'm like, I haven't even checked my notifications. So I'll finally check it, and like half it's just like people talking in a group that I'm in. So I'm like, I forgot I commented on that post. Now I'm gonna get every notification in the fucking world.
Facebook's the
earlier,
devil.
dude. The one metal group I'm in, there was they always do like bands versing each other for fun. This one, there's a few I'm like, I disagree, like with the winner, because I just don't even understand how it happens. But this, by far, I don't fucking understand. They didn't win yet, but last time when I commented on it, Pantera was losing to SOD, and what the fuck? Like,
Wait,
SOD.
Stormtroopers of Death?
That's what I would assume. It looked like their album cover and everything. And I like SOD, but what the fuck? Excuse me, sir. This is a little out of hand. Pantera's like, I, for a long time, couldn't get too into them because I was so worn out from Walk and stuff. And I was like, they're just so fucking, I don't know. Like, they almost seem generic because of how much of themselves they were. If that makes any sense. So I was always like, I don't want to listen to that.
Because everyone's
bullshit.
Since them have been trying to sound like, it's the same. The certain
Black
ex of
Sabbath
mine.
and shit.
Well,
oh yeah.
She like, well, no, Violet's mom.
Yeah.
She basically like, you know, I'd play some bands. She'd be like, yeah, that's cool, it's whatever. And like Metallica, she's like, I don't know, I just don't like them because they sound generic. I'm like,
they made that sound.
I was like, they sound generic because literally in the 80s after they did that stuff, everyone was like, well, that's
we're gonna do that.
Yeah, and then you get flooded with everything else. So the other shit she hears is not bands either trying to sound like it, but it's like the sound coming at the time. They were like, you know, the forerunners of all that.
Yeah.
Don't argue about it. They're just like that. You know, they're the head dudes. With
but Pantera though is to me like
the next level. I think
no one
the next
sounds
step
like them
sense.
though. Like there's bands that try. But
no, and they always sound awful. It's the same thing as you try to sound like Metallica, or you try to sound like Pantera, or even the other day I was at work. I went to the back. I'm in the receiving, and someone's playing music, and I can't remember what band it is, but they're playing a song, and it's so obvious that guys are just trying to sound just like Nirvana, and it's just like these like pale imitators. And then it just like dilutes the original band that was like successful and like
yeah, it's like why'd you guys even get famous?
Yeah, it's like taking influence is one thing.
Yeah, just be yourself though.
Yeah, like we get weird. I don't know. We rip things off too in a way, but I feel like.
Well, I mean, back in the day when I was like younger.
Yeah, you'd get into a band. You'd be like, "This is our new tuning. This is what we're playing now. This is a new song."
I think that was a good thing though, because now I feel like I have like this wide range of shit I could pull from.
But
which is the point in growing up.
Yeah, but then you have these songs
like
being written by guys who are like our age now, and they do this stuff where it's like you still sound like you're trying to sound.
Yeah,
like
you're just trying to rip somebody off because you want to be famous.
Oh, I think it was like Puddle of Mud or something. That dude, like, they sound straight like the way he sings.
Like Nirvana, they're grungy, but they're more like a modern.
They're like a
pop rock
dirtier
grunge.
Modern grunt. Like Nirvana was like.
Nirvana was Nirvana, bro.
Yeah.
But either way, we should probably wrap this up now.
Yeah, because this ended up being a longer podcast than we.
It's weird because we didn't really have much to talk about.
Yeah,
I actually have more that I want to talk about, but
we'll save
next
that
time. So
save that for another Preston and James. You don't call me that. You call me Clifford. Sorry, Preston Clifford podcast.
Well, before we sign off, what I will say, you guys should probably check out Todd and the Book of Pure Evil.
Oh yeah,
we were going to talk about that. We're not going to get into it now, but basically, it's a pretty good show for people who like metal, at least,
or comedy or horror.
Yeah, comedy or horror. It's pretty good. It's on Shudder now. It used to be on Netflix, but it's on Shudder now. It's off the air, but you could watch it on
Got
Shudder.
canceled after 2 seasons, but they made a movie to wrap it up. Haven't seen the movie yet. I still love the series, even with its cliffhangers.
Yeah. So be sure to check it out. Like I said, it's on Shudder. And
maybe we'll talk about that next podcast if we don't have the other guys around.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes.
See ya.